Welcome to the What Matters Marketing Show, hosted by Kim Skilton. This is your place to be inspired, to learn, and to build the business of your dreams with actionable marketing tools, tips, and resources. Kim Skilton is an award-winning marketer who has worked with some of the world's biggest brands. With more than 20 years of industry experience, Kim knows firsthand what it takes to build a business from the ground up. If you love to learn and are ready to take action, you're in the right place. Click follow so you don't miss an episode. Now let's get into the show.
Hi, and welcome to the What Matters Marketing podcast. This week we are looking at episode 11. So thank you for joining in, and if you're new here, great to have you here. Thanks for listening in. This week's episode is rather short and sharp, but certainly sweet, as I'm sharing with you an Instagram update that came out last week from the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri. So if you haven't already heard, there has been 3 major algorithm changes or updates. And so this week's short and sweet episode is just to take you through those. Make sure that 1, you know that they're happening, and 2, what they are, and number 3, what can you do to take advantage of these changes. Number 1 is they are introducing a ranking change that will give smaller creators more reach through recommendations. Hands up in the air, woohoo, that's exciting. Number 2 is if they find 2 identical pieces of content, it will only recommend the original one. And then number 3 is in order for a reel to be recommendable to non-followers, so this is from, Instagram's perspective, it needs to be under 90 seconds. And they're saying the sweet spot is probably around 30 to 90 seconds. So I think if we read between the lines there, no more 5-second reels. They want those longer, more informative, engaging sort of reels. So dancing for 5 seconds or sipping on a cup of coffee with words coming up on the screen is not going to cut it. That's not what they're looking for anymore. So if I jump back to number 1, so just to revisit that again, they're introducing a ranking change that will give smaller creators more reach through recommendations. Great news for us smaller guys. So unless you're, got 500,000, 1 million or more followers, it has been and increasingly hard to get some real traction on Instagram. And I know with a lot of clients, we've also spoken with them and at times supplemented their organic social media with paid campaigns. But there is an opportunity now with this change for smaller creators to be discovered. Now, just one thing to point out here. A lot of you will have a business account versus a creator account. Now, I was on a business account, and then quite some time ago, I changed it over to creator account because you do get some more creative options when you're using your Instagram. So unless there's any real challenges for your business to change, I would probably look to move your account to creator. And when I say move, all you're doing is going into your settings and changing it to a creator account. I would do that as probably step number 1, so that your account is actually identified as a creator account. Now, number 2 was the point that if they find 2 identical pieces of content, it will be recommended back to the original person, up to the original source. And they're going to start adding these labels to any reposted content that will link users to the original creator. And I guess that's essentially they're rewarding original content. Now, that's not to say you can't keep using UGC, user-generated content. It just means that it will be attributed back to the original source, which I think is very fair. If you've got any questions on that, by all means, feel free to shoot me a DM, email, whatever works for you, and I can talk you through what that means. But essentially, UGC, user-generated content, I do use a lot, particularly for my tourism clients, because it is very hard to get a lot of content regularly, and we have a lot of really awesome users in the social media space that can create content really well, and it's about finding that content and then resharing it on your own platform or your own account, but you are always crediting that original person. And now Instagram is going to naturally within the app do that anyway. All right, and then number 3 is around the duration. So just to repeat it, it's in order for a reel to be recommendable to non-followers, it needs to be under 90 seconds, and it's recommended that that sweet spot is between 30 and 90 seconds. All right, so that's the changes. Are the 3 main changes. That's the announcement that happened last week. So what should you do with this information? Look, you can still absolutely use carousels, static tiles, stories, all that sort of thing. But I think this is a really big clue, if you're not already, to start skewing your content towards reels and to make sure that they are at least over that 30 seconds and under the 90-second mark. That would be my number 1 tip, is essentially focus on reels. Now, if you want to put this to the test, make sure that hopefully you're doing monthly marketing reports and you're tracking what's working and what isn't. So for the next 30 days or possibly even up to 90 days, watch the next 30 day the next 90 days, but in 30-day blocks, and just start to see by putting more reels content out there, which is between that 30 to 90 seconds. Are you seeing more exposure? And how do you measure your exposure? It will be through the metric reach. So are you getting more reach and impressions essentially? And hopefully by getting those increased reaches and impressions, you're going to get more engagement, and that then is another signal to Instagram that your content's great and resonates with a particular audience, and then they'll continue to look for other users of the platform to see your content. So you can see how it all feeds one another. So recommendation is definitely start to look at integrating more reels into your Instagram content, and they want to be between 30 to 90 seconds long. Now I think I've covered it. That's all it is this week. If you're interested, I'll include in the show notes a link to, I've got 365 social media content ideas. Now look, they're generic in the sense they can work for any industry. So you're welcome to go and grab those. They're only $7 and then you've got essentially an idea for every single day of the year. Some you might like more than others, but they're a really good starting point, so you just don't have to look at a blank page every week or month or however often you're planning your social media content. I hope you find that useful. Make sure you leverage this. It's always really good for your account to jump on these things as soon as they're announced. So don't sit on this. Start today, go and do your first reel that's between that 30 to 90 second duration, and start to pump those out more regularly. Great, thanks for joining in, and join me next week where we step into influencer marketing, and I'm going to share with you, is it right for your business? Is it still current? And how to get the best possible results if you are choosing to work with influencers. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the What Matters Marketing Show. You can support the podcast by hitting follow or leaving a review. For more great marketing information to help build your business and a life that you love, head to whatmattersmarketing.com.